what real independent journalism looks like.
What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Our show's having a hard time at Facebook right now. Yeti's trying to figure it out. I don't know what's going on, but we're on multiple platforms, guys. We are on X, okay? We are on rumble.com/MG Show. We're on Red State Talk Radio. We are on the YouTubes, guys. YouTube.com/InTheMatrix with 3 X's. We are everywhere. We're also on your favorite podcast platform, except for Spotify, because Alexander Soros and Media Matters got us off Spotify. Wow, isn't that interesting? But with all of those views, all of those listens, we're getting about 300,000 listens and views a day. Shady Groove, welcome to the show.
Welcome to you, my friend. Welcome to everybody else. Welcome to Season 8 here at the MG Show. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us, but I'd also like to thank everybody for what has been a long, hard slog that we have all done to get to where we are today. And where are we at today? We are at a moment in history where the presidency, the president of the United States, and an unbelievably historic cabinet have set a precedent and have set their aim in a place to put America back at the forefront of the world. Not some person to be stamped on, not a country to be stomped on, not a country to be pushed aside, not a country to be taken advantage of by all of the global elite. No, no, no. That is not what your founding fathers decided to do 250 years ago. They were trying to build something else. And Donald Trump is reimagining America in the vision of what America was intended to be. And all of the people that have been grifters, hangers on, and have been absolute, at the core of it, infiltrated opposition are losing in a way that you have never seen before. And we're here to report on it for Season 8 of the MG Show.
And I'd like to announce, too, that it's very interesting that Dan Bongino goes into the FBI and comes out with all of the people that are attacking him, such as Kyle Seraphin. These faux FBI whistleblowers, okay? They're attacking Alexis Wilkins. They're attacking us. They're attacking you and I. These people are black-pilling grifters, and they're all part of the same network that the MG Show has mapped out for the last 7 years. Just yesterday, Shady, you had Flynn Jr. repost Kyle Seraphin, okay? They are against Donald J. Trump and the administration by going after Kash Patel, who is absolutely a name to remember. We needed Kash Patel, okay? We need our guy in the FBI. And since Dan Bongino and Kash Patel took the helm of the FBI, the stats are incredible. They've arrested more people than the whole term of FBI former leaders and whatnot. Guys, it's amazing what's happening. But the faux MAGA, the black-pilling MAGA, they're not MAGA, guys, okay? They're fake MAGA. But it's awesome to see Dan Bongino actually come out and pretty much accept the same stance that we've had for the past 7 years. Press 47 if you know that we've been calling these people out, that Dan Bongino is calling out right now for the last, 5 years, 4 years?
Yes. And I'd like to take this just a quick moment to make a good example, because I think we have a good example here, Jeff. When we're talking about the black pillars, we're talking about the InfoWars people, we're talking about the people that are driving narratives. They're driving narratives at you, trying to make you think that other people think these things because they all agree. That's a narrative. It's not real, as not based in truth. But a good example, I think, is this, because this is how we navigated it. And I want to go back and give ourselves a little pat on the back here. Kash Patel, whenever a year ago, a little over a year ago, before he was announced for FBI director, all of the operators, including Alex Jones, the Flynn Group, all of the people that were out there that are currently doing what we're talking about, were foaming at the mouth, screaming that they wanted Kash Patel to be the FBI director. Now, isn't this interesting the way this is all played out? Because the reality of the situation is, look at the moment that we're in right now. Do you think, I'm asking you a question, do you think, as the audience of this show, that the operators that were advocating for Kash Patel to be the FBI director really wanted him to be the FBI director? Were they actually counter messaging? Do you see what I'm saying? Attempting a pressure campaign to make Kash Patel not appealing to Donald Trump, Susie Wiles, or the current administration. Look at the way that these operators work. And I'm bringing this up simply because what we have seen with Kash Patel in the FBI directorship is something we've never seen. You have never seen, literally in the modern era, any terror plots literally get foiled before they unfold. Okay. This has already happened like 3 or 4 times. These people did not want Kash Patel to be there because of what we already knew. Kash Patel, a name to remember. They understood things in the background that a lot of us didn't catch up to until like 2022, 2023, whenever we started coming out with a lot of this stuff.
That's right. I mean, it was 8/8/2023 exactly when Donald J. Trump posted the book,
right.
A War by Other Means by General Keith Kellogg, and chapter 8 is called Out Like Flynn. Right. And it's interesting, too, that, when Bongino went in, he's saying people that are going against Flynn and Kash, no. Why don't you separate the two? Because they're two individuals. Okay, they're separate. Flynn is General Flynn, who was fired from from Trump's administration in 23 days for lying about Russia. Okay, and then the Russia. I'll give you 3 stars in general if you can figure out why Russia became such an issue. It was General Flynn who was interviewed more than 16 times by Mueller. Okay, and we're supposed to like that, guys. People that are MAGA are supposed to like that. How about, up to and including today, the anniversary of January 6th, we have reason to believe that General Flynn allegedly, and his brother General Charles Flynn, along with Roger Stone, Oath Keepers, and Proud Boys, did the violence for January 6th. And we're going to cover this because I'm going to go over Dan Bongino's post. It was very well written about the black pillars, and it gives you an example, like John robbed a bank. And because he knew somebody who robbed the bank or who was there that day. And we're going to get into that. But, this is what they've done to complicate the narrative, guys.
You got it.
They hired 3.4 million influencers. Okay. I've been to these Reawaken tours. They've got everybody's name listed on a board, guys. And, they're captured. These people are captured. And then they're promised to be, reposted by the network, which gets you more clicks, which gets you more, this is what you call grifting. Okay. This is literal grifting. Flynn and company are alleged literal grifters, Shady.
Well, today is January the 6th, and it is the anniversary of what they did that day. And what they did that day is interesting because remember, they're the ones that were screaming about all of the election fraud. And then they're out there being the ones that are generating an optic on J6 that painted you as violent. Before that day, there was
real quick, Shady, Yeti, go ahead and try to reconnect again to Facebook. Go ahead, Shady. I'm sorry.
There was no before that day. There was no example that could be set or that could be presented that said, "Oh, Donald Trump supporters are, quote, violent." Okay. But after January the 6th, every single thing you heard from the media were about how you MAGA were violent, ignoring all of the BLM, ignoring all of the Antifa, ignoring all of the different things that were going on, and calling those things mostly peaceful. You know, over Christmas time, I was having a sit down with some of my family members, and they were making commentary to me. And then I made the point to them, do you not realize that, like, is mostly peaceful partially violent? And you wouldn't believe 3 people in the room, the light bulb clicks on. Like, this is the way that they've got us all tricked. And this vigilante mindset, I just want to make this very clear. The vigilante mindset is on both sides. And if you're participating with the vigilante mindset, whether you are an Antifa or whether you are a Proud Boy, doesn't matter. If you are participating with the vigilante mindset, you have a bloodthirst. You've gotten thirsty. You've gotten a taste of blood, and now you want blood, and all you see is red. That is not the American system. The American system does not function like that. The American system is called law and order. It is called, if you've committed a crime or harmed someone, then they have the right to prosecute you for that said harm that you have done. And if you've been wronged by the government, you're handed remedy if you've been wronged. That's the system. It has nothing to do with torches. It has nothing to do with setting people's houses on fire. And it has absolutely nothing to do with making things up, Jeff, because that's what they're doing. They know what the truth is. They skip over that to ask questions.
That's right. And Political Cartoon says Alex Jones does that to his listeners, Shady. Yes, this is called the Flinfo Wars Network, guys. They're all connected.
Yep.
Apologize for that.
And we know them by their fruit. We don't need to hear them say it. We can see them do it. Don't care what the words mean. Nothing. Actions mean everything. Stop paying attention to words and start paying attention to action.
But Shady, I just want Trump to come out and say it.
Well, he has, guys.
He don't does say it. He says it by
don't need Trump to come out and say anything, guys. You
put him in West
need to
Point.
judge them by their actions, just like what Shady says. Go look at General Flynn's timeline. Go look at Kyle Seraphin. Go look at that Anderson. Who's the other guy? I can't remember his name ever. Philip Anderson or whatever. No.
Yes.
Another FBI. And again, if you look at every single one of these people, up to and including Candace Owens, guys, they all don't have jobs in the administration or TPUSA or the FBI. And you know, sometimes the simplest, what is it? Occam's razor. Sometimes the simplest answer is the truth. They're butthurt, guys, that they're not in the administration.
And it's interesting, too, because you can see it. Like, okay, so let's for the whole Nick Fuentes thing. Just a couple weeks ago, Tucker Carlson brings on Nick Fuentes, and they're having all these discussions about Nick Fuentes, and everybody wants to connect Nick Fuentes to MAGA and say, oh, this is some sort of the guy is literally now on his microphone talking about America being destroyed. Okay. He literally says that he wants to see America be destroyed because it's a wasted project. You understand what these people are doing. InfoWars is the same. And so are, what's his name? Adam Kinzinger and Adam Schiff. All of these people are in complete 100% agreement, whether you're talking about Gaza or whether you're talking about blowing up drug boats. They all agree, or Maduro now. Now they're all pro-Maduro.
Yeah. I mean, and, you know, Biden, just before he left, said he put a bounty on Maduro, guys, 25 million. Illegitimate. So now the Democrats, okay, the Biden Democrats, not these, you know, Muslim Brotherhood Democrats, let's just call them what they are, guys. You know, guys, you know, it's becoming so obvious that my Democrat friends and family are closer than we think we are, okay? But this mind control and this crap on X, a lot of people, and I like what Dan says. We're going to read this in a minute because what Dan said is actually true and pretty well written. most people, okay, in the working world, okay, out there, regular Americans going to work, they're not on X. They don't see what we're talking about half the time, and we might lose some of our audience because they're like, "Who's General Flynn?" Nobody knows who he is in your real life. A lot of people know who Dan Bongino is. I'll tell you that right now, especially since I live in his hometown or where he lives now. And I'm unblocked, and I'm thankful for that, Dan. And we're going to go ahead and read this now, Shady. Do you want me to go ahead and start reading this, and then we'll go through what we think it needs to be explored further, okay, from our research after being attacked by this same network for 7 years?
I would like to first assert that what Dan is saying here is a very different person than the person that went into the FBI, and I want you guys to understand that. And this is what it. This
God
is
bless him.
This is what's called being a real human being. A real human being with new information will change their perspective. You see, the reason that we know these people are all operators is because whenever we found a new information that we didn't have or that they were hiding from us, whenever we found that information and we tried to share it with them, they rejected it as not real information that is real information. That's the moment that you know. Whenever I said about actions, not words, the moment you know is whenever people ignore real information and continue with the narrative. Dan Bongino has now decided, Dan blocked me because I was going after him because of his support for Flynn. That's why he blocked us initially. So now it seems like
he had made the mistake saying Kash and Flynn. See, that's where he made the mistake, in my opinion, okay?
I agree with that. And now I think, to me, it seems like with this statement that you're about to read, it seems to me like with new information, Dan Bongino has a new perspective, which would indicate that he's not an absolute stooge for the system, that he's actually growing with new information.
New information. And that's exactly what we did. Look, I've got a book signed by Kash Patel saying that Kash loves the MG show. Okay. I was blocked by Dan Bongino probably for doing the same thing. Shady, I think you're still blocked. So Dan, if you're listening, at Shady Groove with 3 O's, please unblock him because we're on the same side. Okay. We just weren't for a while because we might have, because we're the victim of this network, guys. This show is the victim of this network, and it goes all the way up to Hillary Rodham Clinton, guys.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and just guys, thank you very much. Trust for 1 subscription. Southpaws, thank you. G Brothers, thank you. And Rush, thank you. If you want to see what Flynn's goal is, watch the 7 Days in May. He's a living epitome of a seditious general in that movie. Interesting. Very interesting. So Prairie Dogger said that I tried to get Dan to listen to this show, the MG show. Thank you so much. Reminds me that we expect people to change their minds. When you are fed, and Trump has done it, I've seen him do it, where he made a comment and then changed his mind with new information. That is how you're supposed to work. You're not supposed to, maybe if you're getting paid to say the certain information, you're not going to change your mind. I mean, let's just, again, it's very interesting. Foreign government.
It's easy to characterize as an emotional attachment, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have something, you've explained it, we've talked about things, and then all of a sudden the thing that you've explained and talked about isn't real anymore. So you feel unusual, but it's a good adjustment to make. And it's a healthy adjustment to make with anything in your life, whether it's like what you eat or what you do or what you like or what you don't like. Anything with new information comes a new perspective.
So we're going to kind of read Dan's post, and I want to thank a lot of people out there. Alexis Wilkins, thank you very much. Thank you to John Nance as well. John, thank you. And we helped him and he helped us because he was focusing on a certain part of the InfoWar Flynn network, and we understood all the other parts of it. So we came together and we understood it all together, guys, because I didn't really know who Kyle Seraphin was, before I met John Nance. And I'd also like to give was it Hinkle, Mr. Hinkle? Oh my gosh, why am I forgetting his name?
Chris, maybe?
Yeah. Yes.
Chris?
Another patriot that understands the FBI. Used to be up in the FBI as well. These guys were executives in the FBI, not foot soldiers that got fired. Okay, like Kyle Seraphin and the other guys. All right.
Well, I think that's a great point to make. Because whenever Kyle and those guys, whenever they even came out with their whistleblower, the two of us, we kind of just set it to the side. We were like, this guy's not really saying anything.
Right.
Right. So it came out to be, that's kind of, he wasn't really saying anything.
One of the things about, us, that we understood about the Flynn network is like, all of this money that, we were donating, all of our listeners were donating to Flynn, right, and nothing ever got done. Doesn't that make you scratch your head?
It really does.
Okay. So maybe he was, infiltrated our movement to not get things done and to lead you astray. So they're just protecting themselves and illegal orders of chain of command all the way up to and including Barack Hussein Obama, guys.
So they basically came in and made everybody complacent, like they blamed Q.
That's right. That's right. And, and I want to just make this clear too. Dan, talking directly to you right now, I understand that you don't understand Q. And I understand I'm going to give you grace for that because we've realized that movement was infiltrated by the people that we're talking about, the Black-Pillers and the Grifters, okay? It doesn't matter if you like it or not because the truth is the truth, whether we like it or not. And we did, obviously make a big wave on X and Twitter at the time because I was put on a list, right? I was put on Hillary Clinton's list in 2019 of people she wanted off X. I was put on a list by Angus King, who he wanted off X. They took my PayPal, my Patreon, my YouTube for 5 years, our YouTube, Shady. So obviously there was something to this conspiracy theory. But the way that it got all conglomerated and twisted and fake decodes, I can see why you don't like it. And that's okay. We're still on the same page.
Agree with that.
Is that a good statement,
yes,
Dan? Okay.
Yeah, that is a good statement, and it doesn't divide. It's not a dividing issue. It's a congruent issue. Mm-hmm. Trump helped people understand the world around him and the operation against him with Q. That's it.
Yeah, and I'd like to say that to Dilly as well. Apparently, Dilly has blocked Shady again and has not unblocked me. But we're on the same page, Dilly. I understand that you don't like Q. That's okay, and that's your prerogative. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're on the same page, guys. Okay?
You don't have to block us out because we understood it.
Yeah, but
and as a matter of fact, he did understand it before. He just, Praying Medic were like bosom buddies for a long time.
Yeah, I know it is. All right, so let's go to Dan's post because this is kind of important here. 3 million views on the post below this one. Here's why: the support for Trump administration in the working world is strong. Okay, on the X world, you're going to see only the drama, right? As Yeti put it, the drama, the chaos, the disagreements. And that makes money for X, okay? So the support for Trump administration in the working world is strong. And the people are tired of the endless BS from the Black Pillar, Chicken Little grifters. Watch their tactics. And once you see them, you'll never unsee them. They use a couple of different tactics to BS you. First, they overload you with information, but they underwhelm you with evidence. Okay? Here's an example of what I mean. They'll try to convince you that John Smith robbed a bank. So they'll data download on you and lose you in the chaos. They'll tell you things like that might be true, but aren't evidence of anything. Okay? They'll tell you that John was in the bank that day, that John knew somebody who worked there, that John was arrested 10 years ago for a misdemeanor, but they won't tell you that the fingerprints, video, and DNA of the thief matches someone else. Okay? Solid investigators sift through chaotic information and mine the evidence gems. Charlatans and morons do the opposite. Second, Black Pillars will rarely take on the president directly. They know that they'll get destroyed by the boss and wind up in the political graveyard of egomaniacs who thought that they could take the president on with BS. As a proxy fight, they try to pick off his allies, knowing many of them are limited in the ways that they can fight back. Let's talk about that, right? Kash, Dan, Pam Bondi, all these people. Susie Wiles, right?
That's the reason.
Back in the day.
Yep, Tulsi Gabbard, all of the John Ratcliffe, Flynn is all Johnny Ratcliffe, like calling him like he's Johnny, like he's his little boy or something.
That's right. So, I'm back now, so he can now fight back in different ways, right? So I'm back now, and I'm putting this BS to a stop. Everyone inside the administration I cross paths with is busting their asses to move the needle on real change. You can do things fast or you can do things correctly. You can rarely do both in government. Even with those constraints, the administration's accomplishments are breathtaking. I want to be clear on this point. Intra-party movement policy disagreements are healthy and natural, but endless pessimism meant to strategically attack a movement from the inside is not about policy. It's about political cannibalism. And many of these grifters are hiding their real agendas from you. And that leads me to my next point. Third, the Black Pillars are infamous for telling you an administration, policy, or action is going to lead to the end of the world. Chicken Little. Before the policy has ever been given time to demonstrate results. You're seeing it now with regard to Venezuela. Will it work out? Maybe. We will all see. But maybe it give it a minute before you attack from inside the tent while pretending you're an ally. Black Pillars and grifters asked for this fight, not us. But I'm absolutely down to fight it. Absolutely down. This is an excellent post, JD.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, let me go ahead and this is the quote. Okay, so he said, so he reposted this with 3.6 million views. Let me add this from the jump. Actually, let me do this. Okay, let's just go to the first post, okay, with 3.4 million views. So, good to see you all. I missed you. Thanks for everything while we worked on cleaning up. Working in the administration was the experience of a lifetime. I'll have some announcements coming up, but I'm taking a couple of days to spend with the family. A couple of things. Thank you for your interest in the show and its return date. We will have something for you soon. The Trump team is not kidding around. It's an otherworldly experience from the other side. He's determined and focused, and having been around quite a few presidents, this one broke the mold. If we block you, it's because we care so little about your BS that we deem it not worthy of even seeing. If you're bitching and whining about it, that means that you can't exist without seeing and commenting on ours. You'll need to get over that. We do it because there's nothing Black Pillars and anti-Trumpers want more than to create division and drama. We're about results, and we'll talk about some of it soon. Love y'all, and thanks again flaming Elmo emoji. Yeah! All right, so we got that. And then we got this, Shady Group. He takes the time to go ahead and say, let me add this. From the jump, there's no confusion. I started in this movement as a candidate during the Tea Party movement, and I began my political commentary career shortly thereafter. I helped build this movement, and I sure as hell am not going to let it get hijacked by a group of Black Pillars, life losers, grifters, and bums. We are a movement guided by the truth. The essence of conservative ideology is the preservation of eternal truths. We are not the, quote, latest thing group. We are not political cannibals. I've watched quietly from the inside while doing the job I was hired to do, but I'm back now, and it's time to restore balance to the force that was one for GUI. That one was for GUI. Is that? I'm not sure. Is that?
I'm not sure.
Liani? I don't know. As we get ready to make some announcements about the future of the show, I also want to warn the haters and the zeros. We've been at this for a long time. We live for this stuff. This isn't our first, second, or 10th rodeo. I can agree with that, Shady Groove. We're the same way. We've seen a lot of dipshits come and go. We revel in making you angry enough to show your asses. It's glorious. We've got midterms coming up, and there's no time for your BS. This administration is cooking, and real change simmers. Real change simmers. If you're spending your entire day bitching and whining with 3/4 of the term still to go, then please find the exits. There is no time for it. It is not infighting. Boom. How many times have we said this, guys? It is not infighting when you exercise a cancer killing the host. It's outfighting because you're not part of any movement that I'm familiar with. Looking forward to the big things ahead. Can't wait to tell you about it, Dan. And then Dan, we read this post, firstly, right here. Very well said. We've called it, you were programmed, okay? You were programmed to say, why is the MG show, Shady and Matrix, Jeff and Shannon, why are they infighting? We're not infighting. We're outfighting, guys. And I love the way that Dan put it right there, because and we have been victims of this, guys.
I'm hoping that there's an assessment that's coming forward that understands that all of us that have been victims of this can stand together with the truth movement, because the
Yeah.
truth is the reason that I started doing this. The truth is the reason that Jeff decided that we wanted to do this together. And the truth is the reason that we're sitting here 8 years later talking to you right now. We also revel in making them angry. Okay. I revel in making them angry. That's what I do. That is literally my modus operandi, is to make them angry so that they say and post things that show who they really are. That's what we're doing. That's what we represent. When I talk about being a virus in the system, we are literally a parasite to their narrative. They cannot continue their narrative as long as they have an infection. And we are that infection, and they actually are. They're actually the infection into our country. So that's why we are infecting the infection, so that we can lance the wound and move forward. And so I'm very happy to have another person that sees it seemingly similar to
somebody bigger than us, right? Like, we noticed
he'll get all the credit.
Yeah, well, that's, at this point, the truth is all I want.
I know.
GUI is one of his producers. Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's good to know. I did not know.
Thank you, because we do have Bongino Army, listeners here. If you're here and you've watched Bongino, let us know, okay? Because we want to talk with you, all right? And we want to let you know what we know, because for example, Dilly blocked somebody here because of Roger Stone's movie called A Storm Foretold, which shows him and General Flynn and the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys setting up the alleged violence on January 6th. Okay? Why would you block that? Because you're still friends with Roger Stone, Dilly? Maybe you want to reconsider that.
And who's one of Roger Stone's number one stooges? It would be Matt Gaetz, wouldn't it? And didn't Bongino have a couple of little words for Matt Gaetz today?
We sure did.
You see, so understand that your boy Roger Stone Jr. is playing you like a fiddle, dude.
He is, and he likes to play both sides, right? So
that's what he does.
Dan Bongino actually went Matt Gaetz. Let me go to it. Let me find it here.
This is actually pretty good. This is worth reading.
All right, so this is like a shady comment too. So this is a former Congressman Matt Gaetz at Grok. When did Dan Bongino run for office, and how did he perform as a candidate? And then Dan Bongino says, maybe if I spent more time at shady parties with moneyed insiders, I would have won. I heard you know a bit about that. You've always been a dick, by the way, grifting off your daddy like a suckling little doggy. When I first met you in the Panhandle, I knew you were a piece of crap. And it was a POS. It's written all over that phony face of yours. And I said, Grok, why is Matt Gaetz not the Attorney General? And Grok says, Matt Gaetz withdrew his nomination for Attorney General on November 2024, citing that he did not want to distract from the Trump administration. This followed opposition from Republican senators and scrutiny over allegations of sexual misconduct and drug use, which he has denied. And I said, of course he denies it, right? And then it goes, the House Ethics Committee, December 2024, report cited evidence of Gaetz's paying for sex, including with a minor, and drug use. He denies all claims, and no charges were filed after DOJ probes. Updates as of today show no new legal actions. But interesting. So, wow. And Matt Gaetz is funded by Roger Stone.
And isn't it interesting the move that Trump pulled to get him out of the House of Representatives? I mean, he literally called him in to be the Attorney General, and then basically he quit that and he quit the other. All done, gone.
Yeah, pivotal. No, he is taking a couple of days off to be with his beautiful wife and family, and he'll be announcing soon. Just watch Bongino's X account for that. Gaetz is tight with Marjorie Trader Greene as well. See, we know who this network is.
And they're all doing the same thing. Candace Owens doing the same thing. Stu Peters doing the same thing. Owen Schroyer, all these people, they're all doing the same thing. They're trying to claim that MAGA is dead. And what you said earlier, Jeff, I think is very, very important. We are here and we are seeing this stuff. We pay attention to it like it's every day that we have to see this nonsense. So many people out there are not seeing it. And what's happening right now is the next 6 months are going to be critical, everybody. The next 6 months are crucial for the Donald Trump agenda to prove This is what's happening right now with things like Iran, getting rid of the nuclear stuff in Venezuela. What's happening is the middle of America is starting to trust Donald Trump in a way that they didn't before. They voted for him because they were like, I don't really want Kamala, but I'm going to vote for Trump because he at least acts like he knows what he's doing. Now the chickens are starting to come home to roost. Some of the receipts are starting to come in, and it's unbelievable what we're bringing in on tariffs. It's unbelievable the moves. He announced yesterday the reduction of the vaccine schedule, and he also it was announced yesterday that NPR and PBS voted. This is huge. NPR and PBS board created 70 years ago voted yesterday to end NPR and PBS. No more. They're getting ready to be over 80 radio stations. So this is massive stuff Trump is doing for you.
Yeah, and I want to go back on subject.
I know. I got away.
Whew.
But I got there.
Put that in the notes.
It's called the weave.
Put that in the notes. All right.
It's in
Island Girl, I'm in the Bongino Army and watch the MG show every day. Thank you so much for that, Island Girl.
That's
and
amazing.
Please, guys, please let Dan Bongino know that we're legit, guys. Too legit to quit, right? Right. So this is this is Ann Vandersteel. This is Ivan Ranklin. This is Dr. Jane Ruby, all part of the Great Reawaken Tour. Okay. This is the Secretary of Retribution to the Flynn Network. We'll never back down. This is our Republic, and we are restoring it one fight at a time. I love my Flintstones. Really. This is how they operate against Trump and MAGA. The only difference between now and the last decade is that they have dropped their masks fully for all to see. Removing bias and looking objectively with discernment is a great place to start. When people tell you who they are, believe them. And then this is Brendan Dilley, just how close the power lines when you grew up under, and he's going after wimpy warlord Ivan Ranklin. They're going, and Viva Frey, who's on the Rumble network. Okay, yep. Viva Frey, who has a Rumble, is part of the Flynn network. Mm-hmm. But our show gets no views. His show gets tons of views.
Yep, because they send everybody over there because it gets on the front page of Rumble. So does Badlands Media on the front page of Rumble. So does all of this other nonsense on the front page of their stupid website that literally is like a propaganda generating monster right now.
Yep.
I mean, all these
who these guys are, Shady.
All of this different stuff that is coming to fruition is born out of their own exposure. Their stupidity has exposed themselves. They overplayed their hand with this Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk thing. They all overplayed their hand. This is what tipped over the cookie jar and spilled it all out onto the table where you can see it. Because none of them were going after any facts or any truth. They were going after clicks, guys. And that's what the grifter is.
I think they overplayed their hand with January 6th.
Well, those people did overplay with January 6th, but Viva and this whole group right now, since Charlie Kirk, have shown that they're part of it. Maybe it's a better way to put it.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense. All right. I got it. And I'm just trying to find this thread because I want to show you why I'm on the anniversary of January 6th. I want to show you what we got. Okay. I want to show you what we got because it's big. All right.
It is big.
All right. This is big. And, this thread has got 709,000 views. All right. I'm going to just make it a little bit smaller so you can see. This is the Manhattan Madam. This is General Flynn. This is the Manhattan Madam. This is Roger Stone. Okay. Nothing to see here, guys. I'm sure. All right. This is General Flynn being asked about his brother, Charlie Flynn, on January 6th. All right. So let's listen.
Organization, okay, because of an AP.
During our interview, Flynn drew on a familiar tactic, attacking the media.
AP is a horrendous organization, okay, because of an AP false story on me caused the Dow Jones to drop and ended or fired the guy.
What story was that? The AP never wrote such a story. Flynn got upset when we asked him about his brother, U.S. Army General Charles Flynn, who was involved in the Pentagon's response to the January 6th insurrection.
Did you communicate with Charlie on or about your brother, General Flynn?
Okay, that question.
On or about January?
That's our last question.
That's the moment.
So because of this interview, I will never talk to AP again. So if somebody in a press conference, and because I usually ask, who are you? I got it. I'm so sick of this because it's so fake and it's so targeted and it's all about.
No, it's not fake. They asked a really good question. What about you and your brother, Charles Flynn, who was on the phone call with Bowser and Chief Sund? What happened? Okay? You didn't like the optics? He didn't like the optics. What, you needed violence? You didn't want the National Guard? Why are you so mad at this question?
Boy, man, I mean, I watched that just then, like I was watching it whenever I first watched it, whenever I was a defender of Flynn, watching it like whenever I was a defender of Flynn, and it's so annoying to me to see myself doing that now, seeing the way that he reacts to Charlie. I did at the moment that we saw that originally, we were defenders of Flynn. Later on, we realized exactly kind of what that meant with his association with Roger Stone and what they did on January the 6th. But even so now, we didn't even at that point understand what we realize now, which is about the Loudermilk Committee testimony from Steve Sund or from Chief Sund and Colonel Earl Matthews. Those two individuals literally came out and explained in very graphic detail how the General Flynn and the other general that I can't remember his name were on the phone and told him they didn't like the optics of the National Guard stopping the protest on January the 6th, guys. So the AP was over the target there with that question.
And we're going to go over all that too. So this is the plot thickens. Let's go through the whole thread, guys.
Passes to the VIP section.
Flip it. There you go.
This is January 6th.
Was going to speak on the same stage as the president and lead the march on the Capitol.
I only have the instructions you sent me, period.
But the lack of access passes was making him suspicious.
Yeah.
On what I sent.
I don't understand how they want us to lead the march, but they can't even tell us where to go. So it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, it makes sense. All right, so it's going to make more sense later, okay? Because maybe Trump had some intel. But this is him calling General Flynn. Check it out.
I'm going to make 3 calls, 2 to keep people in the campaign to get information, and then 1 to General Flynn.
Oh, really? General Flynn. Okay. So what does he say to General Flynn?
Until now.
General, I think this is important, though. From a positioning point of view, having him say count every vote and having us say stop the count, the optics of that are terrible. Our slogan should be count every legal ballot. Count every legal ballot. Much better messaging, more positive. I mean, you know what? You've got great social media following. Get out there and say it. I'm
Get out the window.
You do something like that. Yeah, I need a little committee. That's very good. Also, as I said, military, retired military, any rank.
Ever been
military, Oath Keepers, Proud Boys. And after Stone was snubbed from speaking on January 6th, he watches from his D.C. hotel.
We will stop the steal.
Who came up with that?
Stone 2015. I have paychecks from Stop the Steal from 2015.
This was not a close election. You know, I say, but I was one of the 5 outstanding.
He's something else.
And I had a campaign against.
Roger Stone is starting to get mad at Donald Trump. He's going to call for his impeachment later on in the movie. But Stone watches Oath Keepers and Proud Boys on the front lines. Who else was on the front lines, guys?
With Enrique Tarrio Bart from D.C., Joe Biggs led the Proud Boys
InfoWars
on the Capitol.
Right over here was Brian Gamble.
Ooh.
And on this side was, what's the guy's name? The other
Epps.
guy? Yeah, Epps. Okay. That was all there. Okay.
See that?
See that? Yeah.
He's excited.
He's excited about that. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I better get my stuff and get out of here before they get me.
You know what? That's only when somebody gets shot.
This moment, lawmakers are being evacuated.
Okay. So then we got Boone Cutler, God rest his soul, right there. Boone Cutler. And gosh, I always forget the guy's name, Shady Groove.
Gilbert, right?
Yeah, Gilbert, who was on the Reawaken tour. Boone Cutler, co-author of Flynn's 5G network book, or 5GW book, is there. Who else is there? We've got Brian Gamble right here, and Tim I-70, okay, from We the Media type people, guys, okay? Interesting. Then you've got Brian Gamble right here at that PBS interview. I forgot to show you the remainder of the clip. There he is right there behind everybody, just sitting there, right? Look, well, how does he have such access? And then he gaslights a movement that they've tried to take over, okay? Pretty interesting. Okay. January 6th is a big ops. Woo's news, some of it is good, pivotal, okay? But this is a movie that Roger Stone asked to have produced, okay? This is basically Roger Stone's testimony, but you can't play it anywhere because it gets taken down because he's afraid for you to see it.
I believe that he thought that this was going to be a documentary documenting the end of the Trump era or the end of MAGA. I honestly think that's why he was doing this.
Yeah. Check it out.
Gunshots, and then we subsequently
here's the gunshots.
About the woman who was shot.
All right.
Huh. Why would Roger Stone need to get out of town?
I gotta get out of here.
Huh?
We are the fucking news now.
Calm down, buddy.
Okay.
Get the fuck down.
These people are not MAGA, okay? MAGA doesn't act that way.
Yes, I'd followed Roger Stone with my camera, witnessing every step leading up to this moment. What had begun with the baseless allegations of election fraud
They're not baseless.
Into an attempted coup. A poorly planned and incompetently executed attempted coup.
Attempted coup, okay? He's leaving town. And then you're correct. You know, remember, Roger Stone did get one pardon already. And why does he need another pardon for January 6th, Shady?
I don't know.
Why would he need another pardon?
It doesn't make any sense.
Stone was afraid his involvement with Stop the Steal was about to get him arrested again. And was writing the president for help.
Why would it get him arrested?
You can read that, see what you think. I'm going to take a quick shower.
All right, so it's a pardon. He's asking for a pardon. Also, Stone trying to advance his J6 pardon. Who's he here with? Let's see. Is this when he comes up to meet Matt Gaetz, guys?
Trump could issue a black.
So what can you...
Let me just double check. I don't have the Matt Gaetz piece in here, but he went to Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz, Shady.
Isn't that interesting?
And then let's go ahead and look at some more here. Here's Alex Jones saying that he effing hates Trump. This video will get censored. He says, "I'm so sick of effing Donald Trump." Okay. This is C. Gould, the producer of Roger Stone's movie. Listen to what he realized after filming this movie, guys.
Were you shocked to see integral players in the Trump circle calling for violence over the 2020 election results?
I can't say that I was. I mean, when we arrived at the election, I think most Americans and people outside the country that followed the developments had heard pretty much everything. So it wasn't as much the threats and all the bravado going on. It was more to witness it actually being materialized, that they weren't just talking about it and huffing and puffing about it, but they actually they actually realized what I can only, I mean, had I made this documentary in an African country, I would not have hesitated for a moment with calling it a coup d'etat or an attack on democracy. But because it happens in the most powerful and influential modern democracy in the world, I think, like many other people, I feel a reluctance for calling it for what it is. But that was what we saw.
A coup d'etat, okay? President Trump said we're going to peacefully march, peacefully protest, peacefully march. Okay. This operation was tied to President Trump.
And right there, you could see him try to characterize it as a coup. He's trying to characterize it like Donald Trump is initiating a coup against another elected president. But in all reality, the coup is being initiated against Donald Trump's existing administration that is currently outgoing so that they could make sure that Donald Trump never gets elected again. That's what January 6th was about. Full stop.
I'm going to address you on the red folder. That's his speech, okay? This red folder thing that everybody's worried about is a psychological operation. In the red folder is Donald Trump's speech in case the, what do you call it?
Teleprompter malfunction.
Fails. Do you guys get that yet? I mean, are we that? Okay.
You got blurry.
It's because I'm blurry.
Why did you get so blurry?
I don't know.
You got
but
mad
this
at
red
blurry.
folder thing is a psyop, guys. This is how they melt your minds. Okay.
There you go.
My gosh. All right.
Now you're clear.
And I love the person that said that. I apologize if you take it wrong, but I'm just tired of, even our chat people are falling for psychological operations. The red folder is a copy of his speech.
I agree with that.
Sometimes the simplest answer.
We have Vic Miller and his son on the steps
No connection
of the
to
Capitol
Flynn.
on January 6th. He posts that General Flynn and his brother Joe visited the Hollow. There's a war going on right now. I've pledged all our resources to Flynn in this battle. Flynn's arrival here in Sarasota tremendously changed things at the Hollow, but even just broadly. The Proud Boys got very involved. They were kind of the work crew for a lot of these events. This is a photo
Proud Boys.
Of General Flynn with James Howell, known within the Proud Boys as Jay Bird. At the Hollow, a lot of them participated in the insurrection. James Howell, Scott,
And right
Morrell
there,
were
right there was, you saw the picture they showed you? Right there is Brian Gamble. Okay? And Tim I-7, these are all Flynn people.
Scott and Morrell were part of the Proud Boy group that broke through the barriers.
Scott and Morrell both pleaded not guilty to federal charges. James Howell hasn't been charged. Neither has Vic Miller.
I'm proud of that.
He's proud of that. Shady Groove, wow. I mean, look at what we're doing. And then, okay, we can go further because you've got one of the, they were promised the Insurrection Act, okay? This is by Kelly Sorrell, the Proud Boys, was it Oath Keeper? She was an Oath Keeper.
She was a wife, right? Yeah, wife,
girlfriend to the one-eyed patch guy. What's his
name? Man. Why did you have to say the eye patch? Now I can't remember him.
Eye patch McCain. Not that guy.
The audience will get him.
Yeah.
What was his name? He's blocked me. I can't remember his name. That's terrible.
Somebody will get it in there because that guy was on InfoWars. Rhodes, Stuart Rhodes.
Rhodes. Oh,
I got it before anybody. Right. And then this is the result.
So we just stormed the fucking Capitol, took the motherfucking place back.
So much America, so much America.
More voters.
Really, America.
Be a day in infamy.
Yes.
Yeah. Day in infamy, huh?
That's the other eye patch guy, Crenshaw.
Yeah. Then we had dealings with here. This is another Flynn person. This is Ann Vandersteel.
I do.
Fight like a Flynn.
Are you going to storm the Capitol?
Yeah.
If that's what it takes.
If that's what it takes. It doesn't take that, guys. Your president said peacefully and, calmly. General Flynn, this is what you're talking about with General Piat and Lieutenant Charles Flynn. Check this out. This is head of Capitol Police, Chief Sund.
Call him. I said, send me the National Guard as quick as you can. I'm going to get approval any minute. Because he asked, do you have approval from the Capitol Police Board? And I said, I'll have approval any minute. Please just get them coming this way. So they're within eyesight. Shortly after 2:09, I talked to them. 2:34, I get a notification to get on the call with the United States Pentagon. I have to sell my request for the National Guard. I'm on the call with a Lieutenant General Piat, trying to make sure I have his name pronounced right, and a General Flynn.
Charles Flynn.
And it's mainly Piat that I'm speaking with. I get on the call, Mayor Bowser's on the call, Chief Conte's on the call, and I said, I need the National Guard immediately. This is an urgent situation. I still remember saying urgent twice. This is urgent. And they gotta be looking at the same TVs I'm looking at. I need the National Guard immediately. You know what his response is? Don't like the optics of the National Guard on Capitol Hill. All him, I said,
wow, they didn't like the optics. They wanted it to be violent. Do you get that, Shady?
I do. It's the perfect optic that they went for, and they were able to generate that optic, and then they were able to smear Donald Trump and all of us with that through the J6 committee and all the different things that they did. None of that would have been possible had they not done this. Flynn decided to do this literally less than a month after he was granted a pardon.
That's right.
And you're going to try to convince me that Flynn is pro-Trump?
Yeah. So let's look at this Roger Stone connective chart. Proud Boys are on your left. There's Enrique Tarrio, Nicholas OCH, Nicholas DiCarlo, Ethan Nordine, Joseph Biggs, Robert Giesween, Dominic Pizzola, Tyler Zalowski, reports up to Jacob Ingalls. Matt Gaetz is over there. Look at that, Matt Gaetz, Joe Greenberg. Okay, that's your crypto scam people. Oath Keepers, Stuart Rhodes, founder, Robert Minuta, Joshua James, who was Stone's chauffeur that day. Thomas Caldwell, and that's the Oath Keepers on the left. Kroll, Watkins, Steele, Young, Meggs, and Connie and Kelly Meggs. They all got indicted. They all got pardoned. But, you know, it's up to us to keep the heat on, I think, Shady Groove, because, you know, this is crazy. And also, the video of Terrio and other Proud Boys, Gabriel Garcia and Gilbert Fonticha, this flight was actually paid for by the one and only CIA operative, self-admittedly, Patrick Byrne.
We got Gilbert.
Gilbert just jerked off.
On the Mile High Club.
On the Mile High Club. Just finished whacking out.
Proud of your captain. Hey, please put your seatbelts on. Hey, did you see this bathroom? You guys.
So they're all happy that that Patrick Byrne's plane flew them. And we'll be right back after these beautiful boom messages. There's more.
Hello to all of you beautiful patriots out there.
First of all, let me just thank you all for supporting this show. We wouldn't be here without you. But I have a huge announcement regarding donations.
It has come to our attention that using the Rumble app is taking an additional 30% of your donation to the show.
Let me explain. According to our TOS, Rumble takes 20% of all donations made through the web browser.
And that's a 20%. It's a good deal if you consider other platforms like YouTube and such.
There is a hidden cost that we just found out. For example, we received the generous $500 donation from Spill Tea, and thank you so much for that, from the Rumble app on Apple. So Rumble took 20%, and Apple took an additional 30%. We brought that to Rumble, and they said, well, Rumble's take of tips and donations is 20%. That's if the transaction is done through the web browser. If using the Android or iOS app, it's an additional 30% collected by those platforms.
So please use the web browser to make your donations to the show and avoid the hidden fees by Apple and Android.
That's right. You can also support us at GiveSendGo/HelpMGShow, mg.show/donate. We have PayPal and Cash App. Both are at RealMGShow or $RealMGShow. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest 3-in-1 sale ever with a limited edition product, a back in stock special, and a closeout deal you won't find anywhere else. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our MyPillow bed sheets, only $29.88. Any color, any style, any size, even kings, regular $119.98, only $29.88. Once they're gone for good. How about our My Towels? They're finally back in stock, but not for long. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And for the first time and the only time ever, get our limited edition premium My Pillows. They're made with Giza cotton and designer gusset. Queen $17.98, Kings only $19.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now.
My Pillow is excited to announce they're having their biggest 3-in-1 sale ever, with a limited edition product, a back-in-stock special, and a closeout deal you won't find anywhere else. My Pillow bed sheets, only $29.88, any color, any style, any size, even kings. Regular $119.98, only $29.88. Once they're gone for good. My towels are finally back in stock, but not for long. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And for the first and only time, get their limited edition premium My Pillows made with Giza cotton and a designer gusset. Queens, $17.98. Kings, only $19.98. Also, for a limited time, when your order is over $100, you will receive free shipping plus $100 in free digital gifts. So go to mypillow.com or call 800-873-0478 and use promo code MGSHOW. Use your promo code for the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now.
Charles Flynn, Mike Flynn, tick-tock. Yo, General Flynn, this ain't the fight I chose. Thrust in the ring when the gauntlet got thrown. Laura Loomer, your protege, she came for my name. Dropped your brother's role in the J6 game. Loudermill committee, they peeled back the lies. Army brass stalled the guard for optics. No surprise, Charlie Flynn, chief ops. Not in command, but his hands in the delay. Yo, you don't understand. He swore to Congress, said he rushed the guard in. But the truth, he ain't moved, that's a straight up sin. Yo, 2:30 call, he claimed he wasn't there. Multiple oaths say different. Charlie, beware. Liz Cheney's crew, they ignore these false claims. Too busy chasing Trump, playing political games. Sworn testimony, I laid it out clear. Trump had no role in the guard's delay here. Loomer's out here saying I'm Millie's disciple. That's a joke in D.C. Her word's just a rifle. But who's the one tight with Millie's command? Charlie Flynn, revived by Mark's own hand. Millie pushed him up from stagnant to star. G3 of the Army, then a 4-star czar. Chris Miller got the call pre-Biden's day. Make Charlie a general, no time for delay. I got more to spit if you want the full track. Truth's my ammo, I'm ready to clap back. General Flynn, this fight wasn't my plan, but I'm dropping the mic for the truth, understand. Yo, truth first on the mic, yo, I'm speaking it right. Yo, truth on the mic, yo, I'm speaking it right. Yo, truth on the mic, yo, I'm speaking it right. Yo, truth on the mic, yo, I'm speaking it right. Truth on the mic, yo, I'm speaking it right. Yo, truth on the mic, yo, I'm speaking it right. Truth on the mic, yo, I'm speaking it right. Yo, truth on the mic, yo. Just on the mic, yo, I'm speaking it right. Yo, Charles Flynn, I'm speaking it right.
So that's incoming Earl Matthews, who followed this show, reposted this show on exactly what we're talking about right now, okay? Who's Earl Matthews, you might ask? Earl Matthews was confirmed as the top DOD attorney, guys, okay, in Trump's administration.
I'd like to give a little update on that. He is the top attorney at the Department of War.
Thank you very much. Right. And it's worth remembering, guys. And again, so Earl Matthews is the top DOW, Department of War attorney and a whistleblower. Okay. So that brings us to Earl Matthews. And he followed this show, reposted this show. We've got DMs together. The guy knows, okay? So they know. Earl Matthews knows. Dan Bongino is finding out. Kash Patel knows. Do you know?
Mm-hmm. They do know. And will you share it with someone else that you know so that they can know that this show has been explaining this stuff to you? And it proves exactly what it is that we were like. This event proved exactly what it was we were saying. We understood this was going on before we heard Earl Matthews' testimony. We just couldn't quite piece the part together because we didn't have the piece of the puzzle that he offered exactly in the context that he offered about the stand down order. This was effectively a stand down order to stop the encroachment of people onto the Capitol. The order to attempt to stop that was refused by the military industrial complex, guys. Okay. I just want you to understand the gravity of that statement. The military industrial complex on the phone with a person who was defending the capital of the country decided that it was a bad optic to stop people from breaking windows and busting in and taking things and marauding inside the Capitol. They could have stopped that very, very easily at the moment that Chief Sund, that we just played you, made the call that he made at 2:00 in the afternoon.
And the January 6th committee deleted the evidence, guys.
Yes,
okay?
They did.
Right. So we left off real quick talking about Patrick Byrne flying the Proud Boys who stormed the MFing Capitol, okay, on a private jet.
To do it.
Here is Shady Groove asking Patrick Byrne about it. Check it out.
Get back in, but we got Jen.
Okay.
So
what I was saying was that thing about Jaden X is an example of it ain't what you don't know that hurts you. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. So yes, the woman she's asked me, but she kind of asked me in a way that said she already knew it. She didn't know it. I see somebody at the top. Maybe it's you, Tish, just put up that, yes, I raised $100,000 in 2003. I raised $100,000 for Enrico Terrio. That doesn't have, but it is the case. What I told you was exactly true. In 2020, I wouldn't have known the guy if he walked up and kicked me in the knee. About a year and a half ago, I started helping Ryan Samsell and Jake Lang and these different groups, and Enrico Terrio's family came to me and said, will you help him? And so I made a pledge too. And that's that. You now know the extent of my relationship, but people like to connect 2 + 2 = 37, and they jump to all these conclusions. And I've skipped to about 10 different spots in this 4 hours before I joined, and it was filled with stuff like that, like all this stuff about Flynn and McChrystal. Flynn and McChrystal were close. They sort of co-developed this whole way of fighting a war. They went their separate ways. And McChrystal joined the left, also associated.
That's a good one, dude.
Right, because you just know for sure, but it's something you know for sure that just ain't so.
I can prove it, but okay.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's why you got me blocked, because I prove it in your feed.
I just want to know. Oh, is this Sean McGuire?
No, sir, this is Shannon Townsend, Shady Groove of the MG Show.
Have I ever been on your show, Shady Groove?
Yeah, you came on my show spouting off a bunch of bullshit that got Patriots all up in arms about being an FBI informant.
Okay, enough of that, guys.
Okay, you know what? What we should do then, and this is another great example.
We're not going to do anything you say. You're going to do what we say. It's we the people, not you the Patrick. You don't control us. You don't control narratives. You don't control anything. Maybe you should sit back and listen to people instead of thinking that you know shit, buddy.
I opened the door and I walked in. I saw General Flynn. I saw Sidney Powell sitting there. I was not happy to see the people who were in the Oval Office. Well, again, I don't think they were providing. Well, first of all, the overstock person, I've never knew who this guy was. Actually, the first thing I did, I walked in, I looked at him, and I said, "Who are you?" And he told me. I don't think any of these people were providing the president with good advice. And so I didn't understand how they had gotten in.
Just so you know, it was the guy that did the Hunter Biden laptop guy that let him in, guys.
Garrett Ziegler.
Garrett Ziegler. Okay. So,
and Patrick strong-armed him. Look at can I explain that just for real quick? That Patrick strong-armed that guy. Like Ziegler, this is what Patrick Byrne said. He said that he called Ziegler and said that I'm calling in my favor of the tour of the White House that you owe me. And Ziegler's like, are you crazy? I'm not going to bring you in here right now. The place is going absolutely bonkers because of all this stuff going left and right, and nobody can figure out anything. And he pushed in on him, whatever his compromat was that he had on Ziegler. He used it in that moment to get them inside the White House. That got them within eyesight of Donald Trump. And that's what I can't remember the gentleman's name. That's the attorney that you just played that clip, but that's what he's referencing that happened after.
And then let's show you who Patrick Byrne admits that he is.
You just told us that you are CIA. How would you describe your role with the CIA, which you haven't revealed before?
Under Obama, I became something called a Tier 1 intelligence asset. After working for Brennan for 4 or 5 years, and then we set up the Russian hoax.
I was captured. So we were captured. You see me there. We were hanging with the CIA, Shady. I mean, so they understand.
Well, they were complimenting us. They were telling us we were doing a good job. We were doing a good job as long as we were focused on the people that they didn't like. Yeah. But the truth of the matter, wait a minute. Does the CIA really not like the left?
Yeah.
Does Patrick Byrne really? The CIA does. Let's say if you were to think the CIA does an audit of the United States election in the state of Arizona, what would you think might happen? I would guess that they would find more votes for Joe Biden.
Yes, that's what they did in Arizona.
That's what they did? Oh.
Yeah.
I might have known that.
You know, I see there's the link there on the TikTok. We got a TikTok, mgshow.clips. But I see somebody say, Patrick Byrne is an idiot in my book. Of course he is, but do not underestimate what he did to your movement. Yeah. That's not an idiot. That is a pre-planned. Look what he did to you and your credibility with January 6th, funding these people to go to January 6th, allegedly. Guys, he admitted that he funded those people, guys, to Shady Group. So there's no alleged about it. But, we just snuff people off because we think they're an idiot. It's worse than that, guys. This is all connected. It's every single bit of this, up to and including Maduro is connected, up to and including Canada, Uranium One, Syria, Iran. It's all connected. Do you guys get it?
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, you talk about Patrick Byrne. He's a right-hand man of Warren Buffett. Okay, Warren Buffett has one of the largest companies, and Berkshire Hathaway is one of the largest companies in the country. And then the amount of stuff that they're doing with these NGOs and stuff in the background, it's all Patrick Byrne had the scheme. Patrick Byrne told Flynn, "You're not using your 501c4 right, dude."
Yeah, and he funded Flynn, and and nothing ever got done with Flynn. They found more votes. We had the sauce in that video that I just posted from TikTok, guys. And Dan Bongino is now starting to call these people out, and we're just trying to show you that they are all connected. We were deep behind these enemies in their lines, Shady Grove. We were deep behind enemy lines with these people. Okay, we were on Brighteon. I don't know how we got there. I'll tell you that right now. But they took us off.
The reason we got on Brighteon was because the person that was producing, Mike Adams specifically, loved this show, and he loved what we were doing, and he convinced him to bring us onto the network. And we were fine over there until we started understanding what General Keith Kellogg wrote in his book, and we started understanding that these guys were getting ready to turn on Donald Trump. Like, we knew that they were going to turn. We have posts where we've made posts 2 to 3 years ago where we said that these people are going to turn on him. And now today you have Owen Schroyer, Alex Jones, Candace Owens, all of these, Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, all of these people, these talking heads and now the left can use them as an example. Oh, look, the MAGA base is splintering. Those people were never MAGA before anyway. It's the same thing with General Flynn. He was never really MAGA, but General Flynn and MAGA. Even Grok is stupid to this stuff.
Yeah. All right, so let's just see what this is real quick.
How we doing? We good?
InfoWars and their associates' modus operandi is to launch psychological operations like pushing a boulder down a mountain, Then when the psychological operation inevitably turns kinetic, they have already distanced themselves from or renounced the psychological operation they launched. Of course, they would never refer to it as a psychological operation, so they can claim they have no liability for the military-grade operations that are aligned to foreign interest they've launched against the American people and the American establishment. We've already demonstrated almost everyone aligned with InfoWars, including the military and intelligence factions, are allied against the Anglo-American establishment, which is our establishment, and Russian intelligence, business, and political interests are closely connected with these anti-Anglo-American establishment groups. At this point, one might wonder, how can InfoWars continue to operate if this is the case? How can they launch psyops against the American people that turn kinetic with nearly zero repercussions while the psyop victims are thrown behind bars? The answer is our country is deeply divided by foreign designs and deeply infiltrated for at least 70 years. January 6th is an excellent example. InfoWars and its associates largely made January 6th happen with sustained psychological operations against the American people. The PSYOP victims are in jail, and the left characterizes them as insurrectionists and gives them the worst inflammatory labels. The left would never admit many might have had honorable intentions, but were disoriented to the truth from military-grade psychological operations their minds were never equipped to defend against. The January 6th committee hasn't touched the military factions, the intelligence community factions, or the media factions that caused January 6th. And those people are all replatformed on Twitter, so they can continue their operations. How can this be? The left is just as infiltrated as the right, and it serves the infiltrated left, and the infiltrated right throws PSYOP pawns in jail as political tools to fight over and point to as examples, but never getting to the root cause. Perpetual division serves the interest of both sides and primarily the interest of our foreign adversaries. The right reacts to the extreme rhetoric of the left and vice versa. That extreme rhetoric oftentimes originates, if we dig deep enough, from foreign adversary information operations working through their American allied factions. Those American factions were calling for martial law in the final days of the Trump presidency. In fact, after Flynn, Byrne, who dated a Russian spy, and Powell had visited Trump to pitch him on the idea, Trump tweeted, "Big protest in D.C. on January 6th. Be there. Will be wild." Wild can be defined as not subject to restraint or regulation, uncontrolled, unruly, and uncivilized, barbaric. Trump was referencing a report by Peter Navarro around this time, which he said it was statistically impossible for him to have lost the 2020 election. In fact, it was Peter Navarro's aide, Garrett Ziegler, that had let Flynn, Byrne, and Powell into the White House to pitch Trump on seizing the voting machines and declaring the Insurrection Act.
Jack.
The two people that pushed the Pizzagate psyop and were close to people at Charlottesville pushed the stolen election narrative and worked to get bodies to J6 like Jack Posobiec, Michael Flynn, Alex Jones, Ali Alexander, and others. January 6th, from our research in our 5-part series, appears to be the culmination of long-range plans.
And we got it. We have it all here on the MG Show. Pretty good dissertation as to who the network is, though.
That was Passio. Am I correct?
No,
it wasn't Mark Passio.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I thought that someone asked who it was. I thought that's who it was.
Don't know who it is.
Okay, gotcha.
Doesn't matter because it's the information, and that's what we got. And you can clip it from this show. You can share this show to share that video.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what we can do.
I'm not telling people anymore. Oh my God. So that's kind of what's going on, guys. You know, we are winning, guys. Just don't forget, we're winning. Do not trust what you read. This is mind warfare. Up is down, left is right, and left is left, and right is, I mean, gosh, guys, we have been through this so long, guys, and we've been a victim of these people for so long, and I'm tired of it. And thank you, Dan Bongino, for stepping up. And hopefully you can see this video. Maybe Kash shared this with you already. I don't know. But it's got to stop. This has got to stop. This fake MAGA BS has got to stop. And it is outfighting. It's not infighting. I totally agree with that, Shady.
I agree with that. And also, this is the statement I'm going to make, and it's going to be very clear, and this is going to be the ground that we stand on moving forward from here, from where we're at. You're experiencing military grade psyops. I'll say that very clearly, and I'm going to say it again, and there's a reason I'm doing this. Military grade psyops. Military grade psyops do not stem from the Democrat Party. Okay? Military psyops do not stem from the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is downstream from that psyop, just like the Republican Party. Okay? The Fedsurrection narrative. A Fedsurrection is a great cover story by the military industrial complex. You whitewash everything and make you think that there's something wrong with your feds. Okay. Yes, there were feds participating in it. Yes, there were the office of the FBI has admitted that there were agents on the ground, but they are downstream from the military grade psyop. Okay. The FBI is not in a position back here to engineer the military grade psyop. The military grade psyop comes from the United States military. This is going to be very hard for you people to hear, and I understand that, but this is something that you've got to understand. It is from the military, not the people that you know that your friend's buddy that he sent down to go to the National Guard, not the guy that you know that's a Marine. The military brass. The military industrial complex is what is organizing the destruction of your country. The military industrial complex is what organized 9/11. The military industrial complex is what organized the killing of Kennedy. The military industrial complex was behind Waco. The military industrial complex was behind Ruby Ridge. Okay? All of these different things that have happened in your reality were military grade psyops. And the ones that were focused on, the ones that were important were skipped over. And then the ones that were not important were highlighted and made seem like they were something real, like Jade Helm from these InfoWars people, guys. You've got to understand this. This is not the FBI doing these things. This is the United States military brass that's attacking its own country. And it comes from the elite cult that is occupying the brass in the military. Go back to what Pete Hegseth was saying to the brass about their hair and about the way that they act and what they're doing. These things are very, very important, and we have to paint the proper picture so that we can properly understand how to navigate it, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you guys haven't seen that movie, Storm Foretold, definitely go see it. We also have evidence of Roger Stone with person 10 in the, if you guys read through any of the, affidavits or court cases, that they have personal contact. It was the Roger Stone's, here it is, Joshua James. Also, person 10. I'm going to go ahead and repost that on X right now so I can show you that. But guys, we have a lot of questions. This is questioning, okay?
Correct.
I'm not making anything fake up.
Correct.
Because what I'm seeing is, this right here. This is Roger Stone. Who is Joshua James? And why is he in your hotel on January 6th? And what does wait until you see what I got coming straight from your own screwed up mouth? Listen to what Roger Stone says.
Well, you see what I got coming. All right, very good. Yes, sir.
There's Joshua James. Okay?
These guys have been great.
These guys have been great. People are trying to tell me that was, fake. It was not fake. That is real. That's as real as you can get. Well, who is this masked man with Roger Stone? Okay, that's person 10. Okay, James went to. This is then we got Joshua James as well. Okay, Joshua James then instructed the group to get their gear and get ready to head to the Capitol. When the group departed their hotel and headed towards the Capitol, James who? Joshua James? What hotel? Stone's hotel. Which hotel room? Stone's room. Here, read it for yourself. All here. Roger Stone's bodyguard became a federal witness to the Capitol riots, and here's Joshua James in Stone's room while January 6th was happening. He left, and Stone said, "Wait till you see what I got coming." So why was Joshua James in the same hotel room with Roger Stone, the same hotel and room with Roger Stone on January 6th, and he was his bodyguard? And why did Joshua James, 34 of Arab, Alabama, plead guilty to seditious conspiracy in connection with the Capitol breach? Huh?
All great questions.
This is like real connections, not black-pilling fake MAGA questions.
Roger, Joshua James was in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Ex-military. All these people are ex-military. Charlottesville, all of this stuff that happened, guys.
I met Joshua James. Look at, we met him at, guess where we met him? The Reawaken tour.
Where we met a lot of these asshats.
Imagine that, guys. Wow.
We spent a lot of money participating with this.
Yeah. So,
thinking we were helping.
This is what you call like questions and backing up why we're asking those questions with what I would call alleged evidence.
And the things that you don't do or listen to the people that are asking questions that aren't relevant. If you have people out there that are asking questions and you already know the answer, you kind of already know who they are. If you have the answer and they don't, well, that doesn't make any sense, does it? So it doesn't put them in okay. So where are you at then? You have the answer, but they don't. But they're pretending to know things that you don't. So they're more informed than you are, but you have the answers that they don't. How can we always be smarter than the intelligence agencies, Jeff?
It's just what it is.
It's just interesting, isn't it? I mean, it's like you ask real questions, look for real answers, find real proof, and they don't want to have anything to do with that.
In fact, those intel agencies that said Hunter Biden's laptop was real took our YouTube channel down the same day.
It was pretty specific there, wasn't it?
It was. How many anons influencers are injected versus useful idiots? Was it 3.4 million?
3.5 million at least. This is how they get views on their YouTube and their Rumble channels, is because they have all these people that are operators that have a Rumble account, and they go and they just sit on their channel all day.
Jay Harrelson says, I was fooled too by the Reawaken tour. I was so excited when they were here in my hometown, Tulsa. We were there. I have seen Clay at the grocery store, and I just roll my eyes. Yeah.
Yep, we were there. And we wanted to be helpful. Like, our intent was to be helpful. We thought that they were helping. They manipulated us. That's fine, but you're not gonna sit there and pretend like it didn't happen. It's like we said earlier in the show, like we had new information and we show people around you new information and they all act like there's something wrong with us for reading new information. So effectively, Jeff, if we wanted to navigate this properly, what we would have done would have been to reject any information that goes against their narrative ever and just keep on doing what they're all doing. I mean, the Badlands people, all these nut jobs are still going on with the same narratives.
I want to also remember we went Donald J. Trump gave us the ammo on 8/8/2023, and that's when we became public. Okay, and at 8:15 at 3 p.m. I get a text messages from Clay Clark copying General Flynn, saying, "General Flynn, meet Jeff from the MG show." Look at that, guys. Can you see that?
Yep, we can see it.
Ooh, look at my screen is dirty.
You need to clean the screen, man. You take the phone to the bathroom with you?
I might. So just 8/8. So what is that? 5 days later, 7 days later,
7 days.
I get a text.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Eric? Okay. Eric Trump is not involved with Clay. He goes to talk to you, the people that he wants to connect with, that are fooled by these stupid awakening tours.
As far as I know, there is no financial connection between the two of them.
No.
The only thing there is Clay, effectively Don Jr. and Eric needed to infiltrate the Reawaken tour because they were counter messaging Trump.
Yeah. So let me ask you, because this is a good question, and I don't want to be mad at you, KMC, but KMC, why is Eric Trump still involved with Clay? Does it matter? With all this stuff that I showed you, Clay Clark was at the insurrection as well. And, so does that because Eric Trump went and spoke at a Reawaken tour, does that make General Flynn and Clay Clark just off the hook?
No.
Is that what happens? No. I want to know.
Not.
Yeah. Just asking, because it doesn't change anything.
Right.
Him speaking somewhere does not change anything.
It doesn't. I think maybe what you mean to say is him speaking somewhere isn't an endorsement.
No.
Right.
He gets paid.
It just means that they're paying him to come speak.
So
and the same thing with the Mar-a-Lago stuff. You know, like, okay, so let's just take it down a notch. Optics. Everything is about optics with the quote unquote deep state. All about optics. With real people, it's about results. Okay, not optics. With real people, it's going to always be about results, not optics. With operators, it's going to be always about optics and never results. Maybe that helps. Probably not.
So I appreciate you. Here's KMC says, well, I'm confused on who to trust on that tour. How about nobody?
I don't trust anybody on the tour.
I don't trust anybody. I was part of it. I spoke on a stage with Shady, and that was the last time we spoke because we got too close to the truth for them. Do you understand? I wouldn't trust any. Maybe trust Alex Jones or Patrick Byrne. Let's talk about people. No, Ann Vandersteel. Look at the people and look at their actions against President Trump now. I don't trust any one of them, but that is a good question. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just trying to show people how we've been, like, I don't know, hoodwinked into accepting these people because Eric Trump speaks somewhere. That means that, see, that's the black pilling stuff.
It is.
And I think you're seeing through it. And I applaud you for asking that question. Thank you. And I wouldn't trust anyone. That's another psychological operation. Who do I trust? Trust no one.
Ben
trust
says,
God and trust yourself.
Ben says General Flynn is an American hero.
Oh, wait, let me say it. Here's how I meant to say it.
You got to help him out here.
But Shady, General Flynn is an American hero.
Oh, he's the reason why all those commercials with people with one leg and no arms are on.
Thank you,
He's the reason why there's injured vets, guys. He was in charge of the actual intelligence in Afghanistan, okay? And these people are maimed. He's a hero.
He's joking, Jeff.
I know, but I'm making a point. I'm making a point.
I know you are.
Because it's not funny. When I watch those commercials, I immediately think of General Flynn.
Of course.
It's sad. And then let's not talk about the reporter that lost his life. Hastings, guys. You see General Flynn's brother's creepy. I mean, we've got so much information for you guys because somebody goes to talk. Don't discount our information anymore.
Joe Biggs, and Hastings.
Mm-hmm.
That we were just showing you at the Capitol, by the way. That was Biggs that we were showing you at the Capitol. It was also Biggs that was good friends with Hastings. Biggs was the contact with Hastings for the people that he wrote Hastings wrote the Rolling Stone article about General Flynn and General spacing his name. Petraeus? No, not Petraeus. The other guy. That was the Rolling Stone article. McChrystal, yes.
McChrystal and Flynn.
McChrystal and Flynn, and then he lost his life in a tragic, crazy, unusual car accident. And then Joe Flynn made comments about, oh, too bad, so sad.
Yeah.
And many others about this. So the rabbit hole is deep here. Jeff is being serious about understanding this, and you've got to understand that countering their messaging is a part of what I think the reason, what Eric Trump is doing. Like, you can't listen. This is the point. If you are in a dark place, you're the only light in the room. Understand that. If you're a light in the room and you walk into a dark place, the place is no longer dark. You got to be the light in dark places. We were tasked from an amazing person walked this earth 2,000 years ago and said, walk into the dark room and be the light.
Mm-hmm. So Stone Circle says Clay was against vaccines and masks, though. Does that make it right that they did a violent insurrection?
Can we move past this?
I mean, no, I'm not moving past this. I'm going to address people because that doesn't matter. This matters.
That I said those words. Do you know that the news never reported the words walk or march peacefully and patriotically to the Capitol? Do you know they never reported it? It's a scandal. The Unselect Committee never reported that. They never reported that Nancy Pelosi was offered 10,000 soldiers, National Guard soldiers, whatever you want. No, I don't want them. And the mayor. The mayors were in writing. She was more honorable about it. But Nancy got caught when her daughter did a documentary. She's a documentariist. And She has her mother saying, "It's my fault. I should have taken the soldiers," or something. I saw that in the documentary. I said, "Whoa, this was a major story." Has she spoken to her daughter since that? But they just, they are vicious people, even on the attack. And it was an amazing military feat that took place yesterday. Think of it.
So that was Donald J. Trump talking today at the GOP member retreat about peacefully and patriotically.
And it's also the point of what the BBC documentary, they've now admitted to splicing that together, and they are he's now suing them for billions of dollars because of what they've done to attempt to smear him on the global stage. This is a foreign government lying about the response or the narration or the speech that the president of the United States gave. A news organization, a foreign news organization. If we were in the times of Washington and Jefferson, this would be causes to hang these people that wrote this article or that made this documentary.
Yep. And he said, peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. President Donald J. Trump, January 6th, 2021. Faithful MAGA Sentinel. Thank you. That's exactly what he said. But none of these reports that. Instead, they tie this January 6th psyop to your president, Donald J. Trump, and he didn't do it. We showed you who did it.
Did the people that ended up being the Flynn and the Stone operators, did they peacefully protest that day? No. Did they peacefully protest, or did they go in and start knocking stuff over and breaking stuff? Because this is the point where we're talking about. If we're going to sit here and say, oh, well, it's mostly peaceful. Well, J6 wasn't mostly peaceful. Okay, you have to realize that it was partially violent. Okay, and we have to understand that, and we have to be real, and we have to be honest with that. So we have to point who are the people that were violent and why? Because we know that the people that were violent were not your grandmother. The people that violent were not your uncle that went to J6. They were not your friends that were there that went to a car to support President Trump. None of those people were, quote, violent. All the people that got arrested and thrown in prison weren't violent. All the violent people got a pass. Flynn got a pass. All these people, they could have forced Flynn to testify because he had already received a pardon, but they didn't. They let him plead the fifth. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. I'd like to address again, Stone Circle says, he just pushed in the right direction at first. No opinion on what he's doing now. All I'm saying, it seems there's multiple sides. Or what happened is a lot of people acted like they were MAGA, and then the sleepers, were activated against Trump. They were sleeper cells. Right. They were all yay, 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 until they were not. Right. And maybe they didn't attack Trump directly, so they attacked Kash Patel. Remember when the Flynn Network wanted him as VP to be assassination proof? There is something really crazy going on, and I think people are seeing it. Stone, I think you're seeing it too, Stone Circle. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for letting me make an example out of here.
We could easily know them by two different things that they will always do. Yep. Doesn't matter if they're left or right. Two things they will always do. They will conflate reality. In other words, they will make something out of nothing. They will make it seem like something is something. And then they will also create a false equivalency, saying, oh, well, if this, then that. The false equivalent, or I stand with X, or I do, like these declarations of proclamations. That crap is nonsense, guys. You're an individual. You're not part of a group. You have your own brain. It's not connected like some sort of web through to 20 people. You're an individual. This is not a collective. And these people operate like it's a collective or a community or communist.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Shady Grove, real quick. I think I need a cup of coffee.
I need coffee.
Oh my gosh. So here we go. We're going to go do this. If you still haven't tried 1775 coffee, now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus, no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin free and mold free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's political opinions, and a black 1775 tumbler, $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for just $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. It is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like the MG show and Rumble does.
All right, guys, I'm going to task you. Thank you very much. I'm going to task you with doing something extra important. Every single day that you watch the MG show, you are required to come to Rumble and click this like button right here. The little thumbs up thing right there, down there, Jeff. You see it? Thumbs up this video. That helps us within the Rumble algorithm. You can also share the show within the Rumble network or on YouTube with your Rumble or YouTube accounts. You can share the show, like make a post and share the show. So if you would help us out with those things, that would be greatly appreciated, because Rumble does not like it whenever you guys press those likes.
Oh my God, they don't, do they?
They don't. It seems like I think Rumble's taking your likes, so you might want to go like the other videos too.
So let me go ahead and talk about something that we did. I think it was like over the summer, Shady Groove, of 2024.
What did we do in the summer of 2024, sir? We were trying to get Donald Trump elected.
This is Eric Reinold, Kash Patel's best friend on True Social. Kash Patel contacted me, Shady Groove, and Alex the Authority via Reinold to help expose we, the media, Badlands, and Devolution, a.k.a. Black-Pilling Grifters. Okay? And the network of digital soldiers. Red Pill posted the sauce. This was a fun time. Big congratulations to Kash. I remember when Kash and his close friend, look at Devolution. There's Kate, The Awakening. There it is. There it all is, guys. Red Pill Pusher said on True Social, basically, big congratulations to Kash. I remember when Kash and his close friend Reinold let us know their true feelings about Patel Patriot and his MOS-connected New Age girlfriend, Kate Awakening. Kash also let us know the truth about Devolution Grift. I also remember that many operators in the Flynn Army were sliding against Kash. The Authority is so graciously shared these receipts with us. Do you remember that, John? Absolute 1776. The storm has arrived. Custradamus, Proctor Gunnels. The next 4 years should be very interesting. Kash Patel, they were calling him Trash Patel. We've got the sauce there. And Paul Floret called Kash a grifting and being a DICK. We've got all that there. And then this is when she admitted she was with Playboy, and she talked about Devolution in 2012, which is interesting. Kash says Devolution is off the table. Okay. Is it on the table or off the table? Off. Okay. That's your director of the FBI, guys. Okay. And this is Reinhardt talking all about Patel Patriot, which is black-pilling Devolution. Oh, and Kash Patel and Devin Nunes liked the post. Okay. We're going to pop some heads, guys. Okay. This is Devin Nunes with my business card, JD Groove.
I know.
Yeah. So, guys, Kash Patel was a name to remember. We remember, and we helped him, guys. And we helped the now director of the FBI. They were mad that I went on CNN talking about positively about Kash. And then they thought that the bald guy, Ivan Ranklin, making you look like complete idiots with the complete crap that he's spewing, saying we need Flynn and the administration to make Trump assassination proof. You need to be VP. You need to be CIA. You need to be FBI. Now he's not anything, guys.
That was great content.
I mean, wow.
Yeah, that's what they said. They told us that Ivan Ranklin being on there, Flynn said that was wonderful. Yeah. But then everybody tried to say that the idea that you were on CNN meant that you were CNN, right? But it doesn't mean Ranklin is CNN. If he's on CNN, he's fine. But if you're on CNN, that means that you are the CNN. And I'd like to also say, Jeff, that that if, and I'm going to tell you this straight, I'm going to look right at you. If I believed that Kash Patel was doing something wrong or had misguided you or misdirected us or was lying through his teeth to you, if I thought that, I would say it. I'm not afraid to say it. There's no reason I can't say it. I do support what Kash is doing. I do think that he's doing a good job. And I do think that he has been tasked with something that's impossible to navigate. And the way that he's navigating it is quite spectacular, actually, because the desire for conspiracy is infinite. It does not end. The mind desires it. It's up to you individually to control it, and the facts should dictate whether or not you believe something is a conspiracy. Just because you were born doesn't mean you are a conspiracy.
That's right. And Shady, I want to go ahead and go out with, because we have perfect timing, and then we'll come back. It's only about 5 minutes, but this is my interview on CNN. It's very important to understand, guys.
Yep.
Let's go.
Picked ahead the FBI, coming up by some of those who...
And by the way, Shady, I couldn't post any of this on TikTok. They said it was misinformation, but it's CNN. Isn't that weird?
Literally, you couldn't post the clip. What he's saying is this clip is not allowed on TikTok simply because it's this clip. It has
correct.
No, it's just very interesting what they choose to edit.
Mm-hmm. Misinformation.
It's misinformation, right? That CNN is, I mean, it is misinformation to some degree. They're trying to tell you that Kash Patel's a QAnon.
Yep. And my information was good. And I was proud to represent all of us here at the MG show.
Believe in QAnon conspiracies are excited about Kash Patel and what Patel has had to say about QAnon in the past. New reporting tonight in the president-elect's pick to lead the FBI. CNN has learned that Kash Patel is expected to meet with senators on Capitol Hill next week. Patel is seen as a controversial choice for the position. He lacks managerial experience in law enforcement, has spoken of retaliation against anyone really seen as opposed to Trump, and has called the very organization he hopes to lead a, quote, threat to the people. But a source tells CNN that the president-elect's team is eager to get Patel in front of key senators. Despite the challenging road he may face to get confirmed, one movement in particular has been celebrating his nomination, QAnon. CNN's Donny O'Sullivan has the story.
We are here in beautiful, sunny Florida, right by Mar-a-Lago. We're on our way to meet a QAnon influencer.
What you know you can't explain.
For years, Jeffrey Peterson, a former IT guy, has been running the Matrix Groove show.
Welcome back to the MG show, where the truth is learned, it's never told.
It's a show devoted to all things QAnon.
If you think QAnon is bad, you're believing the mainstream news.
Deciphering the cryptic codes from Q and trying to figure out the deep state and the cabal and everything else.
This is Q Post 1828. This is the spy op.
And the reason we're here is because he has had as a guest on his show Kash Patel, who might become the next FBI director.
Kash is on the show today. Let's bring him in right now.
You guys are the best. I love being on your program.
Patel has...
Wait, what?
I love whenever he said that he loved being on our program.
And right now,
you guys are the best. I love being on your program.
Patel has dipped his toe into this QAnon world a bit over the years, has flirted with us.
On Truth Social, there's a Q account. Whether or not it's the real Q, I'm not going to get into.
Are you a QAnon?
So like everything else, you have to have fun with it. The Q thing is a movement. A lot of people attach themselves to it. I disagree with a lot of what that.
A lot of people have attached themselves to it, and I disagree with a lot of what those people say. Shady and I believe the same thing.
Correct.
Okay? Let's just go ahead and replay that again so you can hear the we were infiltrated.
Is a movement. A lot of people attach themselves to it. I disagree with a lot of what that movement says, but I agree with what a lot of that movement says.
The QAnon movement has long been associated with radicalization and hate, and QAnon iconography was seen throughout the January 6th mob.
Imagine that.
Q has posted how many times?
4,967 times.
Q posted about Kash Patel.
Yes, twice.
And said,
Kash Patel, a name to remember.
Q has been so right on so many things. I'll get off that subject.
No, he has, and I agree with you. He has, he has, and you got to harness that following that Q has garnered, and just sort of tweak it a little bit. That's all I'm saying. He should get credit.
And we're trying to help tweak it a little bit. You understand? Shady, you understand, right?
I'm getting the picture, man. Come on, just keep bashing me in the head. I'll pick it up eventually. I'm not the smartest can in the bunch, but I'll get there.
And just sort of tweak it a little bit. That's all I'm saying. He should get credit for all the things he has accomplished, because it's hard to establish a movement.
Who is Q? I don't know. Q says it's 10 people, 3 non-military, less than 10. We don't know. I see people trying to say that Kash is Q. You can't prove that. I can't prove that.
For a lot of people, Kash Patel
engaging in the world of Q and QAnon at all, they'll say, well, that's disqualifying.
But what you're going to find out is that we have a mandate in America, and we want the FBI cleaned. 99% of the FBI is good.
And that's a Q post, guys, okay?
But there's a 1% that is not good.
The anonymous Q persona hasn't posted in a few years, but the world of QAnon is still very real for people like Jeffrey.
News unlocks what the Q posts are. Like, for example, Kash Patel, a name to remember. Kash Patel has just been nominated as the FBI director, right? That's a Q proof, what we call.
Couldn't I just say, well, Q has posted 5,000 times, he just posted a name, like...
Yeah, you can absolutely say that. And, but what about all the other names?
Yeah, and Kash Patel is such a common name.
In our interview, Jeffrey made it very clear that he condemns violence. He's not a fan of the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, or other groups that conspired to cause violence on January 6th.
And that's what they're mad about, okay? They know that we have something
They think that their January 6th antics were justified, Jeff. Mm-hmm. This is a very good point, a good distinction to make. They literally think that they think exactly the way we played the video of Biggs. They think that. They think they did a great thing. Oh, this was real America. Yeah. Remember whenever I said vigilante? If you're a vigilante on the left or a BLM, if you're a vigilante on the right, you're no different. You're the exact same of anti-American.
And let's keep going, because listen to, I do not, so with my research, I do not support the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, okay? You saw my research. I showed it to you in this show.
Violence. He's not a fan of the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, or other groups that conspired to cause violence on January 6th.
I always say, we're not going to make fun of liberals because we're going to be here for them when they wake up.
But there is a lot of portrayal of Democrats, of people on the left, of being evil.
Yeah.
Do you think they're evil?
Not all of them, no. Do you? I think there are some? Yes. Like Hillary Clinton, maybe? I don't know.
After Kash Patel, Jeffrey and other QAnon influencers welcome him as the country's top law enforcement officer.
I think the American people will be happy that Kash Patel is going to straighten out what they've done to President Donald J. Trump and the FBI. And I think America should be happy as well.
Tony O'Sullivan joins us now. Tony, has Patel addressed anything about Q?
Well, what you heard there is why people in the QAnon movement love him, because he's kind of winked at it. He hasn't said he's a QAnon follower, but speaks of his respect.
He said there's some things he doesn't like. Some things.
Exactly, yeah. Look, a spokesperson for the Trump transition team today dismissed kind of any links between Patel and QAnon, and actually said that our story was a pathetic attempt at guilt by
pathetic.
But yeah, I guess.
Did they say pathetic with an Irish accent?
It's a tough one. Those THs kill me. But what we are saying, you've thrown me now, Anders. So this is what is kind of taking a step back from this, I guess, is shocking. Is that somebody who is potentially going to run the FBI is engaging with this world of people who really believe that there is this kind of satanic pedophile cabal at the heart of the so-called deep state. So that's really the kind of world we're living in right now. I should say that a lot of the time that Patel went on these shows, it was to promote something, it was to sell something.
Tony Sullivan, as always, thank you. Appreciate it. Just a reminder, be sure to tune in at 11 o'clock for a special edition of
Anderson Vanderbilt Bloodline. So guys, this is a great January 6th showing you how the black-pilling works, from Bongino noticing it. And we've been calling it out since 8/8 of 2023, especially, okay? But we were a victim of it for 7 years, going on 8 years, Shady.
I'd like to thank everybody that was able to navigate this with us. I'd like to thank you for all your love and support and kindness and understanding as we navigated it. It's interesting because the people that are out there that are being critical or acting like, oh, well, you used to support, and they're all mean, and you're not understanding that we've got new information. You're just being mean and crude and rude. And you're going to run into that if you get out there on X and try to fight in the battlefield. And the point Jeff made earlier, too, is very, very valid to understand that not everybody is on X. Not everybody, the majority of people that you run into in your day-to-day life have no idea who these people are, or that they are working against Donald Trump. Even if they do know who they are, they think that they're somehow part of helping Donald Trump, or InfoWars, Roger Stone, or Flynn are associated with Donald Trump in some way, because they don't really dig into the stuff. So we get into the nitty gritty here with you. I'd like to thank everybody for the support, because we know it's not easy to understand. And we appreciate you greatly for taking the time and consideration to recognize that we are on the mission to find the truth. And it is an individual journey. It's not a group journey. Each one of you has that authority.
I want you guys to really think about, I don't know who to trust. It's power to the people, okay? Not power to somebody in authority, okay? Right. It's power to somebody in higher authority and you. Correct. It's power to the people. Not power to General Flynn, not power to even Donald Trump. It's power to you, guys. You are the cure.
And that power is for you to do something with it. It's not just to sit there. You have the power to manifest who it is that you want to be in this world. And what Donald Trump is doing is nothing short of giving you every tool that would be required for you to be successful. Every one of us fail. Mm-hmm. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is actually on the step to success.
Power to the people. You are the cure. God bless you all.
See you tomorrow.
You have a choice. It's always been yours. A voice they can't silence, breaking through the noise. They pull the strings, they set the stage, divide us with wars, lock us in a cage. Race and class, faith and fear, they scream so loud, but we're still here. Through MG show, the truth breaks free. MG music lifts us, a rallying plea. Power to the people, hear the call ignite. Dark to light, we're stepping out tonight. They're losing grip, their shadows fade. Together we stand unafraid. Oh, power to the people. Oh, we'll never let it go. They shame the brave, they chain the free. Group think marching, but not for me. Hollywood glitters, leaders deceive, but MG show shines, makes us believe. Defend the chaos, push the dread. Nuclear whispers, words they bled. MG music plays a rebel sound. The truth is clear, it's all around. Power to the people, hear the call ignite. Dark to light, we're stepping out tonight. They're losing grip, their shadows fade. Together we stand unafraid. Oh, power to the people. Oh, we'll never let it go. We planned, we fought, we took the reins. Through the storm, through the chains. Antifa rises, fears their game. But MG show calls out their shame. Sheep may follow, blind and weak. MG music wakes us, truth we seek. God bless the brave, the heart sincere. From every shore, the call is clear. Power to the people, hear the call ignite. Dark to light, we're stepping out tonight. They're losing grip, their shadows fade. Together we stand unafraid. Oh, power to the people. Oh, we'll never let it go. Stand firm, be strong, the words resound. All men are equal on sacred ground. MG show leads, MG music sings. The people's power spreads its wings. Power to the people. Oh.
we rise. God bless you all. www.mg.show. Boom.